Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Facebook Live. It is the 19th of February, year 2025. Welcome. I'm hoping everybody is staying warm and safe. The reason being, there's like an Arctic cold here in Texas. So I'm assuming that it's like that all across the nation. It's not very something that only Texas is experiencing. I'm sure the wave of cold weather is something that the whole country is experiencing. So unusually cold temperatures. We are like almost in the 11s and 12 degrees, which we never ever have 11 degrees of cold weather. So, and sometimes it's below freezing. So crazy weather. And with that, let me welcome, so stay warm and safe, everyone. And then let me welcome the panel. We have Lakshmi, who is part of our session leaders, who leads our workshop in mantra chanting. She also has a meditation group that she leads on Tuesdays. So if anybody's interested, please contact Lakshmi. And then we have Patricia with us. Good evening, Patricia, part of a core group of meditators. And Joseph is here as well. He is part of our core group. He joins our meditations, and Rose has joined us as well. Good evening, Rose. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Patricia, I think you had a question, and I'm going to grab water. I just realized I don't have water in my I was getting late, so I forgot to grab water. So let me grab water. Okay, I'll be right back. You can start your question. Thank you.
I actually, question started that I look tired. So I have my practice, daily practice. I joined Lakshmi's group on Tuesdays. I'm part of this group meditations. I have my little retreats every weekend with meditations, and I keep pretty good diet. And altogether, I keep pretty optimistic view. I do Dr. Joe's meditations in the morning. I listen to Eckhart Tolle. And and I'm still tired. So I'm still leaking energy. And there's a lot of stuff going on at my work, and I feel responsible for a lot of it, and it's not looking good at this time. So I take it personally that I'm responsible, and my old self is coming up, and I hear it in my head, and it's saying that I cannot do it, that I'm not enough, that impersonating, what's the syndrome?
Imposter syndrome.
I lost it. Yeah, imposter syndrome. This is what I thought I do good, and I got another chance with a different company, and I see there's a lot of things improving, but still a lot of work to be done. And I think that sense of accomplishment, it's not there at this time. And it's not that I'm worried. I just want to know how to be stronger in my new identity of being the light of the world, and not ego, not identifying with my actions, and yet to have a positive impact on things that I care about around me, because I'm still living in this 3D world. And I would like things to go a little more my way. But I'm afraid that maybe I'm thinking that my spiritual practice, I would try to use it's not really that it's by intention that, and maybe I was trying to get so good in my spiritual practice, so I'll be appreciated, that I'm special. So it's really the same ego coming from back door, and not being happy with myself, that I still see that there's a lot of skills that I don't have. I mean, I see that what I've done is that by having that spiritual practice and bringing more presence to myself and people around me, I see them stepping in more into their power. While before everybody was just blaming everybody else and, someone else. But right now I actually see people getting together and working together, and each one is more committed and dedicated to all the changes that are happening. But there is that voice in my head, they don't need you anymore. Just, you're not that brilliant as you thought you were. Whatever you're responsible for it's not looking that good. There's, just an example, a lot of direct labor cost, especially in the slow season, that doesn't help business. So stuff like that. So that voice in my head, how do I love myself, in a sense? How do I still going into that optimistic, positive energy, being aligned with the source, if what I'm seeing as a feedback, it's not the result I was hoping for? I know it was a huge question, how huge build up, but the self-worth, I guess, and purpose. What's my purpose? That's still in the 3D world, having the entire now other perspective from multidimensional world. How do we are successful here? I know the answer already, by serving others, forgetting about your ego, but I would like to know your thoughts on that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Lakshmi, if you want to respond to her. And then I will.
Yeah, if somebody were to ask this question to Patricia, I think Patricia would have answered this beautifully, because she does know the answers. But lots and lots of love and light to you, Patricia. Um, uh, Living in the 3D world is not easy. Especially we bring so many sanskars from our past life. So we need to dissolve all of that. And I think the biggest one for you is the unworthiness that you often feel, in spite of everything that you do, your meditations, your medical medium diet, and you are doing everything, but also accept that unworthiness whenever it comes up. And I I've read this quote from Adya Shanti. He said that all those negative emotions which come up are seeking release through us. Like, all this, whatever that you feel, they are seeking release through you. And if you don't bless them and wish them well, they will keep coming back again and again in some form or the other. So, if not in this job, you may get another job and something else may happen. And again, the feelings of unworthiness may keep popping up. But so, one thing I would advise is to feel all that, whatever you're feeling, and accept that, yes, at this moment, this is what I'm feeling, and bless it and wish it well, so that it doesn't return back with the same intensity that it is returning every time. And also, um, to be more and more aware of that, slowing down your breathing, because the more you slow that down, your thoughts slow down. So to me, that has helped me a lot. And I um, I always say this particular mantra, akartaham. That means I am not the doer. So anytime that doership comes into me, I keep chanting that particular mantra to let go that I am just being used by God at this minute. And if I am, whatever I have done, you just leave and surrender everything to God, and slow your breathing down, and then constantly give those affirmations to yourself. And yeah, I I know you would have given a beautiful answer to the same question if somebody had asked you, Patricia, because you are that light. It's just that you forget that so many times, so you need that reminders. And in this path, we constantly need reinforcements. It's because the world is just pulling us in all different directions, so we constantly need reinforcements that I am enough, I am worthy, I am whole and complete. I don't need, all these things to complete me. And then to have that trust and faith that whatever happens is going to happen for my highest good. Whether, the fear that what if I lose the job kind of fear, or, just have the faith that whatever the outcome because of this, you will be okay. You absolutely will be okay.
Mm.
Thank you.
You. That was amazing. That's exactly, I just needed that perspective, because yes, yes, yes. I just don't want to let them down,
No,
let my
no.
bosses down.
Yeah.
And that's, in a sense, like, how dare I think that like you said, I'm not the doer, that
Mhm.
with all that work and energy, I'm saying I'm ready to serve, God speak through me, and then God puts me there, and then I'm doubting him. It's like,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. It happens. It happens to everyone. It's but have that faith and let go of the doership. Um, absolutely will help you.
could you please
I will
maybe
text you.
set
I will text you. I
that
will record you. I will record and text you.
yes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's very helpful. I really love your mantras. They help
Yes.
me.
Yes.
The way my
Absolutely.
brain works, I like sometimes to just repeat. It brings me back to the present moment that I
Yeah.
have.
It is karta in Sanskrit means doer. Akarta means not doer. Aham, so I am. So it's the whole chant is akartaham, which means I am not the doer. Yeah.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you, actually.
Yeah. I will text you. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. Eternally
you.
grateful.
Thank you.
Where should I start, Patricia? So,
You start with the fact that I'm still tired, no matter what I do.
so like Lakshmi was saying, right? To know that you are not the doer. First of all, I think what you need to change is your definition of how you are serving. Your definition of how you are serving is you feel you need to make a contribution to where you are working, right? Like you feel like if you interacted with somebody and they had like a shift in consciousness, then okay, then I'm serving, right? That is what you're attaching your true purpose, until something transforms. Like you feel that the moment you enter some place, you're gonna have the Midas touch. Everything is going to be fantastic. it's going to be pixie dust magic. And look, they're going to have lots of profits, and all the people are going to be happy. I'm going to create this utopia. That's your imagination, right? That is the idea that you are attached to, correct? What I have been saying over and over again is there is one very strong statement that Eckhart uses, the lesson in the Bhagavad Gita, like the gist of the Bhagavad Gita. He takes it, but he translates it into his teaching, how it applies to his teaching. So what he says is, I'm hoping I get his words correctly, and I may be paraphrasing, but he says, you have to be so completely and fully in the present moment that you offer up your action as a sacrifice to the divine. It's like a selfless giving, right? So in that selfless giving, you renounce the fruit of the action. So renouncing the fruit of the action is really, really important. That detachment is really, really important. So that's why Eckhart, in so much of his teachings, talks about detachment, non-attachment, non-judgment, non-resistance is the path to enlightenment, right? Enlightened living. How many times does he says non-attachment, non-attachment? You are so attached, like that is your sense, you're deriving your sense of, instead of deriving your sense of self-worth in, I was so totally and completely present in this moment that I did this job, whatever it may be, whether I wrote an email, whether I folded an envelope and I glued it, whatever it may be, I did it so fully and completely in the present moment that I imbued it with that quality of the divine.
I forgot about this. Thank you.
Right?
Remove. I mean,
this
everyone-
akarta hum is not akarta hum. It is, let me be so totally and completely in the present moment that I'm viewing each and every action. My purpose in life is not to change anybody. My purpose in life is not to bring lots of profits to my, whatever the idea of the ego may be. My ego is going to create a lot of identification, right? Instead of all that identification, I need to be so fully and completely in the present moment. Every moment to moment to moment to moment, right? Whether I'm in traffic, whether I'm showering, whether I am washing dishes, whether I am coming back home, I need to be so totally and completely present that I'm imbuing each and every action with that divine, that akartaham. I'm imbuing action with divinity. In that, the universe becomes elevated and sublime. So the moment you had some kind of reactivity with the coworker, the moment you had some reactivity with the, and all this takes balance, right? So that's why I say that to have that presence moment to moment to moment to moment, we need to have enough rest. The moment our energy goes down, right? The moment chakras 1, 2, and 3, like our energy is leaking, the moment the energy goes down, then that means I'm no longer living my purpose. I'm not imbuing my action with divinity. And that requires a lot of presence. In the middle of 100 million things happening, right? This person is asking something, I'm making a phone call, this person is asking something, another person is doing something, another fifth person is asking something. I need to have the presence that, oh, my presence is leaking. I need to step away from all of this chaotic energy. And I need to first, again, come back into presence so that the next action, I can imbue it with divinity. I can be so completely and totally present that I offer up my action as a selfless sacrifice. And in offering my action as a selfless sacrifice, I'm making the universe elevated and sublime. It does not matter whether I have this job anymore. It does not matter if I'm doing the best, I'm the best operations manager or not. It does not, nothing matters. Whether the company is failing, the company is doing well, it does not matter, right? And you've been an operations manager for a month or two. Their results for what you perform in January, right? If you're looking at the month of January, is because of what they did in the past, right? What happened in the past 6-8 months will result in what happens in January. You can't just take over in 1 month and turn the whole ship around. This is not the Titanic, right? If it was the Titanic, you can't turn it around. It will take time, correct? So your job, know that your job is, I need to have enough rest, right? That I am so present, and I need to make sure my morning meditation, I am, when I'm leaving the house, I am like fully present. Then in the afternoon, or if things are getting chaotic, I need to step away and bring presence into myself so that I am imbuing my action with divinity. Correct? The more I imbue my action with divinity, when we make that our purpose, right? That I'm imbuing my action with, I need to make sure I imbue my action with divinity. I am so totally and completely present in the present moment. That is my purpose in life. Nothing else matters. Whether they say, oh, you're not working out, you need to leave, whatever it may be, right? Then that is what is, right? But my job is to make sure that I'm imbuing my action with divinity. And you will realize the moment you do that, when you imbue your action with divinity, everything will take care of itself by itself. Things will work out by themselves, right? People will show you, they will shower you with accolades. You won't even know what are the whole groups of people that are showering you with accolades. But it's not going to happen if you don't maintain that, let me be present, right? And I can see, like, by Wednesday, you're tired. So that means your presence power, like 1, 2, and 3, your energy's been pulled down, right? Correct? The energy went down. And so, like, you have to do the breath work. The breath work is really important to pull that energy out of energy centers 1, 2, and 3, because the imposter syndrome is energy center 2. The guilt, the shame, all that is energy. So you're pulling, the energy is coming down, your energy field is shrinking. Yeah, on the weekend, you did 3 hours of meditation and the energy field is 8 feet. But then things happen Monday, things happen Tuesday, it's shrinking, shrinking, shrinking. And now your energy field is energy center 2, a thought. Remember that thing that we saw, that a thought creating a feeling, the body saying, and the body is used to, the body is the subconscious mind. It has all these feelings, right? It knows the old self is your body, correct? And the body is,
I've been doing what you suggested with meditations with Dr. Joe, leaving my old self there, and I'm becoming new one. I've been doing this, and also in the morning when I listen to his morning meditation about, you know, how the old, recognizing, being aware of the old stuff and old thoughts, old behaviors, old feelings, and then how will I behave in this situation, new one. And I've been doing this for however
But
long. Yes, I'm not still there yet.
what I want you to do is your morning meditation should be something that actually imbues with you with presence. Dr. Joe's morning meditation does not imbue with, Dr. Joe's morning meditation is something that I listen to while I'm making my celery juice or when I'm drinking my lemon water. Because it does not, so realize that because of your shortened time frame that you have to be highly effective, that it should be a punch. Like when you sit down in meditation, you have to go directly into theta. Right? If that meditation is all that it is doing is you're getting more thoughts and more thoughts, then it's not taking you, like when we are saying that I need to imbue my action with divinity, experience the divine. Are you experiencing, when you get up from that morning meditation, are you experiencing the divine? Are you experiencing the divinity that is, are you feeling the energy that we are, the life force that we are, right?
Because I'm doing it also with my headphones as I'm doing my making my celery juice. So I'm not actually sitting in meditation with it. I'm listening to it like you suggested too. I mean, but maybe I misunderstood that it's not the meditation. It should be a separate one, not while I'm doing my other activities.
Yes, in the morning, you sit in meditation. You sit, like this morning, I woke up at 3:30 in the morning and I sat in meditation for an hour, 15 minutes. I was doing an hour, 15-minute meditation. Part of it is lying down, right? So then I know, and I did like 1/2 of the center of the magnet. Right? So I know when I'm doing an hour and 15 minutes, then when I come here, I'm pouring my heart out, right? I'm in brain and heart coherence because I just did center of the magnet in the morning. I did center of the magnet in the morning, then just like you, I have a very chaotic, like right now I have, and I'm actually working 7 days a week. It's not even that I'm working just 5 days a week. I'm working 7 days a week. So what I do is by 11:30 my time, 12, I look at my, wherever I have an hour-long gap. Sometimes I may not even attend a meeting that I'm not hosting, right? Just so that I have that 30, 40 minutes of breath work. Because I know people must have pulled my energy down, right? We have to have that presence that people are pulling my energy down, and I need to regenerate the energy. I need to pull whatever is in 1, 2, and 3, I need to pull it up to the brain. I need to light up the brain, right? I need to ding that thing, correct? That's what Dr. Joe says. I need to ding that thing so that I can actually last the next half of the day, right? And I don't have a long, I make sure that my day ends at 4, at the most at 4:30 p.m. I'm not staying at work until from 7:30 in the morning till 6 in the evening, correct? So even that discipline, again, back to the imbuing you need to imbue how much ever the ego says, oh, I need to stay here to show that I'm really hardworking, or I need to show I'm a really good operations manager. No, your meditation, because imbuing your action with divinity is the most important thing. You coming back home and having that hour that where you can actually do your meditation is the most important thing. my greatest reward in my life has been when in 2018 I decided that I would do 2 hours of meditation no matter what. Dr. Joe says that he gives himself 2 hours. Dr. Deepak Chopra says that he gives himself 2 hours, right? Like Sadhguru, he's conducting meditations the whole day long, right? So they're in state all throughout the day. So how are we thinking that we'll do 3 hours of meditation on the weekend and yeah, it's going to carry over for the rest of the week? No, it won't carry over. Right? It'll get overwritten.
Meditations I do during the week are not the ones that I need to be doing, because if I do morning meditation, or sometimes I do the one of the Carolyn Mays like fire or earth, you know, the
Ring of fire, ring
yeah,
of
the
earth.
ring of
Okay.
exactly. Or then at night I'll do Carolyn Mays also, the but that's only half an hour because I want to make sure that I have enough sleep. So I'm trying to get something short to think about my day and figure out where my energy was leaking. So, but I'm not really sitting at that hour long or hour and a half long Dr. Joe's meditations, like blessings of energy centers or stuff. So these are not enough, right? They might be little refreshers, but not, like you said, it needs to be something effective, you know, the meditation itself.
It needs to give you the bang for the buck. If I'm investing my time, if I'm waking up at 3:30 in the morning and trying to let go of my sleep, right? And make sure that it's highly effective meditation, so that I know I need to be, and I don't worry about who's appreciating my work. Did somebody give me accolades? Did somebody say thank you?
I actually don't really care about that as much as just it's my own. They actually think I'm great. It's just something that it's despite that getting it. Even the business coach today he said, Patricia, I don't want you to just get off that meeting and think that, you know, this is all you. Just, you know, just look into it and see what, you know, can be changed. It's not like he was trying to blame me for anything. So he saw that it's like I took it really heart to heart, especially if this is the first time I'm looking at the numbers, because I didn't see the numbers before. So so he had the sense I must have energetically, you know, I just sat there and he kind of sensed it. He's also very like empathetic person with a big heart and just very, you know, so he's not just that, you know, go get business. He actually has the part that I trust with the energy connection. So yeah, he saw that. It's interesting.
So one, make sure you come back home early. Don't try to stay there. Tell them that, hey, just make an excuse that something came up at home. I need to be at home. So try and leave by 4:30, right? You're there by 7:30 in the morning. You gave your 8-9 hours of work, right?
I'm there at 7 actually, right now at 7.
And you can leave at 4 very easily.
Yeah.
You can leave at 4 very easily. When you leave at 4, then you will have that hour long. You come back home, you eat, you shower, you'll have that hour to do your meditation, right? Do a blessings of the energy center. Get your chakras aligned, right? Do some breath work. Like Dr. Joe says, do the breath work just for the fun of it, right? Do a little bit of breath work so that you're taking out the energies that are residing in you. Something brought you down into energy center 1, 2, and 3, that you're pulling it, correct? And then after you do the breath work, then do a meditation and see what a difference it makes. Like I'm telling you, my life has changed. Just out of the two, I heard a couple of general managers at a Fortune 50 company say they do 2 hours of meditation. This was part of our mindfulness group. They do 2 hours of meditation. If a general manager of a huge company can do 2 hours of meditation every day, who am I to say I don't have time?
Right.
It's just my ego trying to be busyness, right? It's thinking, oh, this is more important. And the ego will have a lot of ways where it thinks scrolling through the phone is really important, right? Watching TV is really important, or just wasting our time is really important. Yakking with friends is really important.
You're 100% right. This is exactly ego's way of trying to pull me and say, you know, there was a couple of last weeks, I just like every day, you know what, today I'm leaving at, 4. And then honestly, this is just like, I looked at the 4 and then stuff were coming up. And it's like, I need to take care of it. So tomorrow I'll try new. It's like tomorrow, like finally this week, I'm like, I'm giving up because it hasn't been working. I just do whatever. With all the transition, I said, I guess I'm needed here. Maybe that's what the present moment tells me, despite how much plans I have. But I'm not as bad as I energetic. Even when I come home, like I maybe look a little tired, but I still have energy to do stuff. So that might be my ego saying, oh, I just sometimes question if I am even able to discipline myself to do this, because you've been asking and telling me this as from depths of your heart, because you know how good that worked for you. And I made attempts after attempts to discipline myself. I can only do it in the morning. In the morning, I do meditations, breath, even breath right before I go in. I stay either here or when I get to work in the car and do the full, sitting very straight and doing the full inspire breath, inspire 2 session. And then I got at work and I feel like, I feel the air, the light. So I'm very present as I'm doing it, and it lasts me a little bit. So, but then getting out of there in the middle of the day, it hasn't happened once yet, even though I wanted to do it every day, and then leaving at time when I can leave. So this is probably anybody could use that advice. Like there is a knowing, there's intention, and then not being able to act on it. Like, I don't know if I'm addicted to some, I don't know what, that I can't actually take action on something I want and I know it's good for me.
It's
Like
because
even if I have alarm on my phone, it's like, okay, it's 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, take minutes, but then I see it, but something is coming up and I can't just in my head just leave it all. In the meantime, there is a lady that I work with. She is smoking, so she smokes cigarettes, right? She also has a crazy job right now, rerouting everything, all 8 routes and stuff. So that's a big one. And somehow she finds time every 2 hours to go out and have a cigarette. At some point, do I need a cigarette? No, I don't want to have a cigarette, so I don't have an excuse to go out. So I stay and do my work.
But realize the constant, once you realize, right, that the constant doing is what is bringing your energy down. You're going back to your old self. How much ever you say in your meditation, you're leaving your old self. The moment you get into this doing, and getting overwhelmed with the doing, right? The moment you take whatever is going on, as the world impinges upon us, how are we going to act is what Eckhart Tolle says, right? The world is impinging upon you. And now can I act out of calmness? Can I now not get pulled into its drama? Right? Even my situation is the same, Patricia. If I want it, I can work from 7 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, even 10 o'clock at night, and the work will not end. Correct? But I let go. I'm like, no matter who interprets what about the fact that I walk away, I know I need to do the breath work, or I need to do some meditation in the middle of the day, because I need to imbue my next action with divinity. If not, I can be reactive. The moment I'm reactive, or the moment these imposter, like the subconscious mind starts this imposter syndrome, then I'm my old self again. I need to overwrite my old self. The only way I can overwrite my old self is by keeping my presence power, right? Throughout the day.
Yes.
So I need to walk away. I need to, yeah, it may be impinging, but I'm going to be a totally different person looking at the same thing a totally different way. And the same, whatever is impinging on you, it will be handled a totally different way once you walk away and do half hour of breath work and then come back.
You know, in business, it says if you have like Dean Graziosi or even Tony Robbins says, you have to have big enough why. And then you're going to do it. Like you need to always get back to why. What is my big why to do this? What would you say? Maybe this is something that I need to hold on to and remember. In that moment, when I look at my watch and I said, this is the time to take a break, and I ignored, I need to think of what's my big why. And then
the big why is I'm not living my purpose. I'm not imbuing the next moment with divinity. My action is contaminated. And because my action is contaminated, I'm not making my numbers. The reason why I'm not making my numbers is because my action is contaminated. Because it is coming out of stress. It's coming out of the hormones of survival. Right? All I'm giving out is cortisol and, you know, how much ever you say you eat well, if you're living out of the hormones of stress, you're creating the chemistry, right? The chemicals, you're creating cortisol, you're creating the bad chemicals in your body. So no matter how organic a celery juice you can drink, how much ever you can do lemon water, everything is null and voided because you made this concoction of cortisol in your body, adrenaline and cortisol in your body, and you're giving off toxic adrenaline, right? You're increasing your pain body instead of dissolving your pain body. So that should be your why. I do not want to make those chemicals. I don't want to create the chemistry. I don't want to make that cocktail of cortisol and adrenaline in my body.
Because right. I love my body, and this is, yes. Not...
Loving my body, it's not enough that I drink celery juice and lemon water to love my body. I also need to make sure that I don't live from the hormones of stress throughout the day. And to not live by the hormones of stress implies I need to be highly effective in the first morning meditation, right? I need to have 7 to 8 hours of sleep, correct? And then I need to make sure I do my evening meditation and an hour-long sitting meditation. Like I've done Blessings of the Energy Center, or done one half of the Center of the Magnet, or something like that.
I actually heard something. I know it's almost the end of the day, but talking about enough hours of sleep, Sadhguru was talking about that you don't need a lot of sleep. Like, oh my God, what? You know, we
No,
were
don't compare yourself to Sadhguru. Sadhguru is in homeostasis all
right.
throughout the day. He can do 3-4 hours of
That's
sleep.
what he was saying. You don't need sleep if you are in that state, because
But
then
you're not in that state. You're in completely, you're living by the hormones, you're living by survival. If things are impinging upon you like this and they're distracting you, right? That you cannot even go to the bathroom or you cannot even go take your break, then that means you're living. Just think that you're making that cocktail of cortisol and adrenaline. Let me go to Joseph, see if he has anything to say. Joseph, do you have anything to share, Joseph? Good evening.
Hi, good evening. No, I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate what you're saying, Patricia. I, if I can ask you, like when I'm just relating my work experience, and I think there's some kind of things that are similar between you and I. But when you're at work, do you kind of see all the other jobs too? Like, do you see the whole workplace environment and all the different jobs at the same time while you're doing yours? Um,
I'm not sure what you mean. If I see, I'm aware of other jobs happening, yet they're all on the one floor, so I see
yeah,
everybody's doing stuff. But seeing what meaning, like in the present moment, understanding their roles.
yes.
I mean, that's part of the
You mean supervising the other jobs? You mean supervising Joseph?
Well, not necessarily supervising, but even in your capacity that you see the other jobs, and that goes into that equation of success. In other words, this is the
Oh,
job
that's true.
this is the
Yes.
job I have to do, and I'm seeing their jobs, and you're calculating their jobs, and you're playing you're wearing all the different hats, but you're not the one supervising.
I
And so
mean,
that plays on the fatigue, that plays on the distraction, and on the feeling of, especially when things are lean and it's slow, that it plays into that. um Ramping up, we got to get the job done, we got to get more productivity, we got to do this and do that, because you're aware of all the other jobs, you're aware of all the functions.
no, yes, everybody, puts their own input to it, because stuff has to be done, service has to be done, everything has to happen, and there's a lot of moving parts. So the scheduling, there's different services, there's pricing, customer call, everything is set up, and then customer calls cancel, reschedule, the technicians are running late, the technicians, not show up. So yes, in a real time, there's a lot of constantly moving parts. So it's not like, you're working on one thing and it's up to you completely when and how. Yes, everything is always moving. The technician calls, oh, something broke with my vehicle. I have to drop everything I'm doing now to figure out how to get him here. It's like, this.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because I think that's, for me, and what I'm experiencing the last couple of days, or what I'm working through, something very deep, um, pattern that I feel it interferes with that ability to focus, like you were talking about, not only just in a job sense, but on kind of what Poonam said too, about putting the divinity in everything that we do, because you're not really there with just the simplest menial tasks either, because your mind is trying to run and move and get results, or think ahead and try and find solutions to get out of the hole. And to me, uh, what I'm thinking and feeling, the distractions, they they are part of that. They're part of the reason, we might say, lack of discipline or not being able to focus constantly on, on certain things where your mind wanders. Because it's not so much the task, it's so much that it needs the distractions.
I wonder though, because it says how is within the so without. So it's apparently something with us that's co-creating that reality. So there's a lot of moving parts inside that are maybe not, like Poonam said, in that moment. So that's also then broadcasting and the energy of what's happening. If it's a lot of things happening out of a sudden thing, it's like, oh, okay, so maybe it's also inside me. There's no enough presence to just calm things down and make everything fall into its place. We still need that struggle, that stress hormones, like Poonam says, something still trying to get out.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Grateful for the input. The one thing I wanted to tell you, Patricia, you need to examine your limiting belief around why do you not want to have the same level of commitment towards your spiritual practice, the level of commitment that you have to Anthony Williams's diet. So there, what I see, you follow it to a T, right? You don't make a single mistake. Never do you not go without your celery juice. Like exactly how he prescribed it. You never miss it. Spiritual practice, we've told you 100 million times, you have to do 2 hours of meditation, make your meditation effective. But there's something in you, either your archetype of your victim identity or your, there's a energetic pattern within you that does not want to achieve that goal of experiencing the mystical. It's holding you back. It wants to, that energetic pattern within you, just like Marianne Williamson says, right? That we are powerful beyond measure, but we don't work towards being powerful. We keep ourselves small. There's
What you're afraid of? Yes, I'm afraid of, I guess, having the power. I don't know.
Your limiting belief is that you need to keep yourself small, that you cannot achieve this power of co-creation, this power, you cannot work towards this power of co-creation.
Because I don't trust, the message was from the time, you're right, I just see it. I just see the answer. The message from the time as well is that I don't know what I'm doing and I should not do it. And that was from the very, when I was 3 years old, my father was expecting me to have his brain. And if I said something or made a mistake, he was punishing me. So, I like stopped.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. So you need to realize that is the limiting belief that is holding you from your commitment. That you're doing half-hearted. In the Gene Keys, he talks about half-heartedness. There's a gene key called half-heartedness. You're doing your spiritual practice half-heartedly. You are not doing it with the commitment that you do your Anthony William diet. That Anthony William diet is like an identity that you've created, and you are very identified with, I need to be in line with that. Right? So, okay, that's fine. Keep it aside.
Because it was easy for me. Yeah.
But look up, I don't know which gene key that is, but there's a gene key that is called half-heartedness. The shadow is half-heartedness. that we do things with half-heartedness. We keep ourselves small, right? So understand that you have to overcome that limiting belief that I love keeping myself small. And because you keep yourself small, you're going to feel small. And that's why the imposter syndrome naturally comes up, right? It'll say, oh, I can't do this. Instead of knowing, hey, in my meditation, I was one with the divine. I trust the unknown. No matter what happens, I trust the unknown. And I'm going to step into the unknown, right? No matter what happens. Instead of working towards that new self. See, the new self is not so much as, okay, I left my old self and I moved into a new self. It's also the way we think and, believe, behave, become. I need to become, I need to believe, I need to start behaving as my new self, where I know that I'm a co-creator. I trust the unknown. I am connecting but that will not happen until you actually connect with the divine every day in the night. You spend an hour in the evening, you clean up your energies, right? Until you get that connection with the divine every day in the night, you will not trust the unknown. And because you're not trusting the unknown, then energy center 2, the imposter syndrome will come up, and it'll keep you back to since childhood, you've been feeling small. So you keep yourself small. And then all these ideas, oh, who am I to be an operations manager? Who am I to think I can turn? Maybe there are lots of things that are happening that are really spectacular about what you're doing there, but you're not able to recognize that. Right? So what I would say is get your commitment, like stop this half-heartedness. And I'll look up, it's either Gene Key 24, 25. Let me look real quick if it's 24 or 25. It's not 24. It's not 28.
I'll look for it.
I found it. 29, Gene Key.
29.
Half-hearted. See, here he says, the secret to all commitment lies in the way in which you begin. It is the energy behind your actions that you create your future rather than actions themselves. Exactly what I said.
Behind the actions, energy. Yeah, Dr. Joe said that it's like the time doesn't exist. You get in the right state and then everything is gonna happen. So it's the state.
But you need to get into that state every day. Make it a committed choice. Say that I'm not going to play small. I'm going to stay committed to my spiritual practice. Nothing is important. Me being operations manager is not important. This company doing well is not important. My spiritual practice is even more than, that is how I live. More than Anthony Williams's diet, my commitment is to my spiritual practice. Nothing comes in the way of my spiritual practice. My work doesn't come in the way, right? I don't let my work come in the way. I don't let Anthony Williams's diet come in my way of my spiritual practice. That's why I make my celery juice in the evening, so that in the morning I wake up, I do my lemon water, I go do my meditation. I'm just pulling open the fridge, taking the bottle of celery juice, chugging it, right? And then going and showering and getting ready for work. I'm not wasting any time. My morning was maximized in where did I spend my morning? The highly effective meditation.
I see
And
that
then-
now. Yep. We watched that video a while back about the shadows, you know, how people the balls that you're trying to give them that, and then you trying to overcompensate in one field to kind of make yourself feel better for not taking care of your shadows. And that's probably what it is. I'm, you know, saying, look at me, I can follow, I can heal the world. In the meantime, that's lagging my state. My shadow is feeling small. Thank you. It was an incredible session today. I hope everybody else that's listening also was able to, you know, get some information, because
Most
that
definitely.
applies, yes, to all of us. I mean, so much.
Rose, what did you think of this session?
Well, I think it's helping me to understand myself. I have a lot of problems. I don't know how to meditate. I'm always in a hurry. I cannot relax because I cannot sleep well because I'm afraid to get lost. I'm afraid that I just, I have a lot of things going on, and by listening, it's helping me. But I'm too far to feel better. Yeah.
Keep doing it, Rose. Keep the practice up. Just like I told Patricia, right? Be committed to your spiritual practice, and within 6-8 months, you'd see what a difference it makes. Come on Friday. We start a meditation at 8:20 p.m. Eastern time, which is you're in Pacific, right? Are you in Pacific time
I'm
or
on
Mountain
Mountain.
time?
I'm on Mountain.
So join us at 6:20 p.m. That's when we start the Dr. Joe meditation. So join us at 6:20 p.m.
I'm planning to.
Okay. Okay. With that,
Thank
let's
you
close the
very
call.
much.
Many blessings, much love, eternally
Thank
grateful
you.
to all of
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you for choosing your divinity over your humanity. And great to have you, Sri Lakshmi. Have a good day, everyone. Good night. Much
Good
love.